dollars in disaster recovery funds have been stalled, largely because of Noem's policy that she, quote, personally review contracts requesting more than $100,000. One of those states hit hardest by the delays, North Carolina, which has been waiting on hundreds of millions in FEMA funds already approved by Congress. After Noem was sharply criticized this week by Republican Senator Tom Tillis of North Carolina over the holdup in disaster funding for his state, something interesting happened. A large chunk of that money suddenly started moving. Watch as our next guest, Congresswoman Deborah Ross of North Carolina, questioned the secretary about it.
Senator Tillis, as I'm sure you remember, lambasted you and the failure of your department in dispersing these funds. And then magically about $80 million got released today, for which we're thankful. But we shouldn't have to have a U.S. senator or a representative or another representative come to you directly to get you to do your job.
A spokesperson for FEMA denied those claims, saying that any suggestion that the timing of the funds release is connected to the secretary's hearing is false. Congresswoman Deborah Ross joins us now. Congresswoman Ross, what do you have to say to DHS's denials of the funding holdup?
Well, first of all, good morning. But I would say it is truly sad that Kristi Noem could find time to approve the contracts for basically PR for her department for hundreds of millions of dollars for private jets. And she would leave small, poor, rural counties in North Carolina holding the bag. The fact is that Congress appropriated the money for North Carolina when Biden was president. And Western North Carolina has had to go through 2 winters without sufficient funding. And that funding was there. It's not about the current budget fight. It is about money that was appropriated in 2024. And she is just lying. The timing of the release of funding generally coincides with a congressional hearing, with our governor coming to Washington, and of course, most recently, with our senior senator taking her to task in the Senate Judiciary Committee. This is not how things are supposed to operate. FEMA is not a perfect organization, but the layer of personal administrative oversight that she put on has clearly made things worse.
Congresswoman, there are a lot of things going on in this country right now, and the American people are beleaguered because there's a war, but more importantly, the things in their own homes are becoming more expensive. Gas is more expensive. The food is more expensive. They are focused on making sure that their families get from day to day to day. So when you look at that long list, that extensive read-in that Jackie just did about this, what a lot of people would call grifts by folks in this administration, why should they care? What is the impact on the everyday American when you have appointed officials, maybe some elected officials, behaving in this way?
Well, this is waste, fraud, abuse, and corruption. And it is not a surprise that it's going on in the Trump administration. It is not just in this department. It's happening all over. And it's using American tax dollars while Americans are struggling. And, you know, just the big ugly law that transferred American health care and nutrition dollars to DHS to assault American citizens. In this, we've seen 2 killings of American citizens and by planes and do these kinds of things. This is not what the American people expected when they elected Donald Trump. Now, some of us did expect it because it's a complete pattern with how he's conducted his business in the past, but it is a travesty, and we have got to exercise our oversight and get rid of the bad actors.
Congresswoman, one thing that people have probably forgotten, because so much happens every day, there's a partial government shutdown right now involving the Department of Homeland Security. One, I'm wondering, have you heard any rumblings of any kind of negotiations happening to end this partial government shutdown?
Well, what I hear is that we have offered, we being the Democrats, a way to open government. We've offered two ways to do it. Number one, putting the guardrails that the American public clearly knows we need on the ICE agents and the CBP officers that America has seen violating constitutional rights, killing American citizens, and not even acting in a consistent way with local law enforcement. Everything that we expect from local law enforcement to both keep us safe and do their job. So that's one thing. There also is an offer on the table to separate that from FEMA, from cybersecurity, and some of the Coast Guard, some of the other things in the budget. And Trump and the Republicans have doubled down on not wanting to rein in Kristi Noem and her department in any way, shape, or form. And this is a huge disservice to the American public. But there are a couple offers on the table. Those offers are ongoing, and I'm hopeful that we will come to a swift resolution for the benefit of the American public.
Congressman Deborah Ross, thank you so much for joining us. You guys are going to be very busy this week, I imagine, in Congress.